this is an Oklahoma weather blog video. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm just going to talk through some of the weather we're seeing right now on radar, and then we are going to look at what we can expect later tonight. If you have any questions during any of this, pop them in the chat and I'll be answering them. So as you can see, there's a couple severe thunderstorms in the state right now. We'll talk about this northern storm first. It's around Hobart. Other locations in the warning include Godebo, New Cordell, Corn, Sentinel, Colony, and eventually Carnegie. As I pull up the text of the warning here, it's for ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So definitely stout little storm now. Again, not right now posing threat of circulation in it. Just a nice little cell. I'm not seeing any broad rotation in it. And then let's look down at this southern storm. Quanah going towards Chillicothe, and then also El Dorado just passed through El Dorado. This is a stout storm. This is producing softball-sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. We might even see this storm produce a little bit larger-sized hailstones. It's just in a favorable environment for them. This warning is in effect until 7 p.m. and it's moving southeast at 20 miles per hour, so eventually it will move out of Oklahoma. I'll highlight the Oklahoma border now. So eventually it will indeed move out of the state, but in the meantime it is still in Oklahoma, barely. You can see El Dorado right now. Excuse me, I highlighted the wrong border. There we go. So it's just barely in Oklahoma, but it is indeed in Oklahoma. Softball-sized hail just south of the Red River. Again, this is pushing out of the area, so we won't cover it for too long, but we're going to have a nice little hail trough there just south of El Dorado, fixing to cross the Red River. Again, that could be up to the size of softballs. And now we'll talk about this northern storm again. Ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This storm hasn't really got its act together yet. This storm's moving east-northeast at 50 miles per hour. You can see that this is actually a left split of the southern storm. So this storm split and it's developed a left split on it. So basically it's not normally left splits aren't as conducive to tornadoes as right splitters. Generally you'll look at more of a hail and wind threat with these. You can notice a little bit of southern convection forming along it. Have to see how that goes, and if it develops further, may have another split that will happen with this. But it is getting to its own environment now and kind of maintaining its strength and starting to grow a little bit. We'll see how it continues to get its act together. Environment right now is not as favorable in this location. Just the wind profiles are a little questionable at this point in time. These will improve overnight and cause really some difficult forecasts for the next 12 hours. So what we'll do is I'll move over to the web browser here, and I'll show you the Oklahoma Mesonet. Let's pull up the dew points. See if we can see the dry line. Can't quite see the dry line in Oklahoma yet, but it's over here in the Texas Panhandle. Really, we're going to be focusing on where the BOAT is in the dry line, and that could be an area of enhanced vorticity to help spin up storms and stringing them into supercells. But temperatures are in the mid 50s, so our dew points are in the mid 50s. Not the highest humidity values, but it's enough to sustain storms and get them going. I do as we let's see. I want dew points and winds. But as you can see here with these winds, we do have plenty of moisture coming out from the Gulf of Mexico, so we'll continue getting moisture fed into this until later this evening. So I'll go ahead and show you what the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, is saying. So there is an enhanced risk for two different areas in Oklahoma. One is just hail risk. This is in southwestern Oklahoma. Again, pretty much with that cell we have down there. And then we have an enhanced risk in south central Oklahoma, basically south of I-40 along I-35. Out far on the interstates there. Really, this is a tornado-driven enhanced risk. So the Storm Prediction Center has seen enough to anticipate a possible tornado or two in that 5%. They aren't going to be large tornadoes if they happen. So why is there a 5% risk out? Well, the wind profiles honestly don't look that great right now, but as we move into later tonight, we could see a low-level jet kick in, which is just due to differences in elevation and how different elevations cool off, and that can come in and enhance the wind profiles and spin them up faster and get a more conducive wind environment for them. So let me get I'll go ahead and walk you all through this outlook real quick. Some severe gusts, including localized swaths of wind damage near hurricane force. Hurricane force is like 72 miles per hour. And damaging hail are expected late this afternoon into tonight across parts of the southern to central plains. Discussing based on visible satellite imagery and recent consistent signals in short-term convection allowing models, the experimental WAFS one-on forecast service, and Compass has increased to include a focus corridor with 30% significant hail probabilities over the area near southwestern Oklahoma and adjacent parts of Texas. The major change this outlook update is to include so basically it's the hail, and then there's also let's see, additional warm sector development is possible over central Oklahoma ahead of the developing band of storms forecast to rapidly move to the southeast across Oklahoma overnight. Therefore, we have included probability upgrades for 30% significant winds and 5% tornado risk with the aforementioned focus corridor. Large to giant hail is possible with the evening discrete supercells activity across the high plains before a very large hail threat materializes later this evening with the above described scenario. Okay, so that's a lot of science wording. It can get confusing. So what we'll do is I'll just switch over to this model and we'll walk you through all this stuff. So this is roughly where we are at now. This is forecast time 01Z, so basically now. You can see that storm in southwestern Oklahoma. It's just a further south than where it was modeled, but pretty good overall on positioning. We'll show you the dew points right now. Here's that dry line I was talking about in western Texas Panhandle. You can see how it bows out and bows back in. Really, what this increased boards, dry line boards, is what we call this area of indentation where it moves back. this is an area where we can see enhanced storm genesis, and not today, but because of the wind profiles. But a lot of times we will focus on here for potential tornado genesis. Really not seeing that threat right now though. As I'm, let's see. Yeah. So as we move in later this evening, so in the next couple of hours, you will see storms start to initiate in northwestern Oklahoma, initially being discrete cells and slowly growing upscale into multiple supercells and eventually a linear complex of storms later this evening. This is a band that we are going to have to watch out for the possibility of tornadoes, damaging winds, and very large hail. So anytime you see these bowing segments, find a good image of it, like right in here, that's going to be an indication of enhanced winds, so your stronger winds. Something to be on the lookout for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a forecast sounding for about the next couple of hours. So you notice this wind profile is largely veering, turning clockwise with height as you move up in the atmosphere. So you'll get a little bit of warm air advection, which is helpful for storm strength and vorticity. Vorticity leads to tornadoes. But you'll notice in the mid layers of this QT is what we call backing winds, which is a sign of cold air advection, which would weaken the storms and prevent any tornadoes from forming. But as I mentioned earlier, there's this low level jet that's forecasted to kick in later on tonight. Typically it gets going right around sunset, a little after sunset, so we'll move forward a couple of hours, pick out another representative sounding, and you notice all the winds are moving clockwise with height. So again, we're anticipating storms may have a more favorable environment starting around 11 p.m. Early 9 p.m., 11 p.m. time frame. That's when we'll expect the most development to grow in both hail potential and tornado potential. Apparently, Cornwall has a building damage from winds. 70-mile-per-hour winds down along the Red River, and I imagine these winds aren't really picking up a whole lot near Goldie Bowl, Mountain View right now, but still possible of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But yeah, so something we're on the lookout for later this evening is going to be that enhanced storm potential. And we'll move back to severe weather. And really, we'll look at Cape. Not insanely high Cape values, moderate. In fact, I'd say a little bit low. So really, Cape values is just these storms we'll have to work with. Lapse rates. Okay. Lapse rates are basically what helps with hail formation and storm strength. So basically determining how strong an updraft is. The higher this number, the more unstable the atmosphere is. So where you see the pinks and purples, that's where you're going to have your largest hail this evening. Again, that's going to be in southwestern Oklahoma. And eventually, southern Oklahoma could see that. there's a chance for tennis ball size hails, maybe a hailstone up to the size of a baseball thrown in now. But again, we're getting later into the night. Typically, large hail doesn't fall late in the night, but that's a rule of thumb and not a law of science or anything. We'll again look at storm relative velocity. So this is basically the spin available for the storm. And this is one of the parameters we take into account when we're seeing the tornado threat. So as you can see, SRH is very high in southwestern Oklahoma, but the other parameters needed, such as LCL, which we'll look at in a bit, aren't so great. We do expect, as we get more moisture moving into the area tonight, the LCLs will drop further down to the surface, allowing for better chance for tornadogenesis to occur. Again, highest values are going to be along the I-35 corridor where that low-level jet could kick in. Again, it's very much if that low-level jet kicks in. It's not guaranteed. So again, we'll look at the LCL heights. Again, the less bright the colors, the lower the LCL is to the ground. Obviously, if your LCL is basically the cloud base, and the lower the cloud base is to the ground, the easier it is for tornadoes to form. So just something to keep in mind, cloud base heights will be lowering throughout the day, and once you get below 1,000 meters, that's when we start saying, okay, we can start seeing tornadoes start to form. But again, right now, LCL heights are very high. Well, you see the orange values, that's going to be 3 hours from now. But as we move into overnight, those LCL heights will move further closer to the ground. Sector. Yeah, not really a fan of. This normally the sector parameter gives us an idea of where the highest conditions are favorable for a tornado. However, this doesn't take into two things: the LOJ, which has been poorly modeled in the past, so it's something that's not taken into account, and then also it doesn't take into account your LCL and if you have storms or not. So just something to keep in mind. Again, that's the NAM model. Sorry, it was the high-res rapid refresh model. For graphics, I am on Pivotal Weather. That's where I'm getting my graphics from. So if you have any questions on that, yeah. Storms are still the southern storm has pushed out of Oklahoma. And that left splitter storm has weakened. I expect it to continue to weaken as it gets further from the dry line. So what we'll look at now is the NAM model. Again, this is forecasting at 0Z, so basically now-ish. You're looking at high LCL, high cloud bases, so again, that's going to make it very difficult for any tornadogenesis to form. But with that moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, we do expect the LCL heights to fall down to sub 1,000 meters, where tornadogenesis is more favorable because you have less area to go to the ground. Cape values, again, not seeing insanely high Cape values, but that certainly has been poorly modeled so far. Let's look at SRH again. Again, SRH values are very high, which is going to be able to sustain storm motion. Again, it's a question mark of how well it will reach the ground. how much the cloud bases will fall to the ground, and if we'll have enough influence, if they won't get undercut. So again, this is about 9ish p.m. Let's go ahead and show the radar. So again, we don't have any storms at that time. It's really once we start to get close to midnight, so 9 to 11 p.m. time frame, we'll start to have storms pushing in from northwestern Oklahoma that are starting to develop now and push to the south and west. And we expect that to go into a line-ish, really not, it depends. Let's pull up this one. Okay, so really, we could see a lot of rain. It depends on how discrete these storms stay at the beginning. If these storms stay discrete, we're going to have a higher tornado risk before they go into this line you're seeing in western Oklahoma, and that really is kind of the cold front, cold air boundary, and it's going to limit your tornado potential, not drop it to completely zero, but really lower it more than it is now, and really transition to a hail and wind threat at that point. We could still see 10 spots, maybe a baseball size hail with this at this line that moves through overnight into the early morning hours. I have mentioned the flooding threat earlier, so let me pull up the rainfall potential. Really, we're looking anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches where that line moves through. It kind of lingers for a minute or two. So something that I've seen here is the Storm Prediction Center has issued a new mesoscale discussion. Let's take a look at that. Again, this is a Storm Prediction Center. Increasing severe thunderstorm threat. Probability of a watch incoming 80%. So northwestern Oklahoma, you're probably gonna have a severe weather watch issued soon, a severe thunderstorm watch. Hail and wind are expected with convection this evening, so basically what we've got in Phoenix just went over. Agitated clouds field, so your cumulus clouds is expanding in area coverage across southwestern Kansas, extending north along softening cold front, so your cold front's ongoing frontal genesis, which is basically a stronger gradient in temperatures there. This is partly due to low-level moisture advancing rapidly north across western Oklahoma, into southwestern Kansas. Mid-level heights will continue falling across the Central Plains this evening, and large-scale forcing forcing should aid convection in development. So what's happening is we have a trough in the upper atmosphere coming through, which this enhances lift at the surface, and you'll really see convection coming there. I'll probably produce a video on that. It's a little hard to explain on the fly here. Once convection develops, an upward evolving thunderstorm cluster is expected to propagate southeast along a warm front that is currently draped from southwest Kansas into southeast Oklahoma. With time, low-level jet will increase markedly into central Oklahoma late this evening, and a more expansive southeast moving MCS could spread toward the Oklahoma City metro area. Large hail will be common with supercells, and damaging wind threat should increase as MCS becomes more linear in nature. So again, that low-level jet is going to aid in the development of these storms. Really, it's how much it's going to aid in the wind profile that will answer our question on the impact tornadoes could have tonight. I'm not expecting strong tornadoes tonight. If they do, they'll probably be brief and weak. But again, a tornado is a tornado. If you do have a tornado warning, take precautions. Any severe thunderstorm, especially hail this large, is going to do some damage up to baseball size hail. not gonna be fun at all. And 70-mile-per-hour winds, your trash can may end up down the street or somewhere you don't want it to. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. And I'll try to answer any that I see. I'll throw up the radar here. As you can see, we do have one severe thunderstorm warning in the state. I'm getting some images poured up. Okay. There we go. Okay, again, this storm's kind of riding the red river. Severe threats are south of it. But we do have this storm near Goldie Bowl, Mountain View, Carnegie. This storm continues to weaken. It was producing ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That hail size is down to quarters now. I do expect this to continue weakening as it's detached from the dry line. There's really no lift in the area to sustain it. Cape values aren't that impressive right now, so will continue to fall throughout the evening. Next hour or two. Okay. See if anybody has any questions. Nope. I'll go ahead and move back to the web page here. So basically, this is the GOES-16 satellite image. And what I wanted to do is just show you a few things here. One is that CU field up here. That's the developing clouds that the mesoscale discussion was talking about. These are storms that will eventually go upscale into thunderstorms that we will experience later tonight. Let me try animating this. First time I've used this site, it's the University of Wisconsin. As you can see, the storms are developing up in Kansas. Let me speed this up a little bit more. Again, slowly developing and advancing to the southwest. That line will continue expanding in what will impact northwestern Oklahoma. This is a supercell along the Red River. Let's see. So the Enville is 300 kilometers across, which I'm not experiencing what that is in miles. 300 kilometers is about 186 miles. So the shadow of the storm that's occurring in Texas now is over 200 miles long. So that tells you how stout a storm is. So if anybody has any questions, nope. Okay, so really this was just a quick update on what we can expect tonight. Really not a whole lot has changed. I'll probably update my threat graphic later this evening with after this storm is completely out of the state. I'll update on the threats we can expect tonight. The updated tornado risk map. I do expect the low level jet to expand the probabilities a little bit eastward than what I've previously published. Hail size, again, tennis balls made to baseball size, and up to 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts are what you can expect. Any tornadoes that do occur will be weak. Flooding will be possible in areas of poor drainage. Yeah, so make sure you stay weather well with multiple sources. I always recommend 3. That way, if one fails, you still have it. These storms are going to be really late into the night. Talking about 8, 9, on to through about 5 o'clock in the morning. Again, that's from northwest Oklahoma through southeast Oklahoma. So really, it's a large time frame that these storms will move across the state. Just have to be weather well throughout the night. Make sure your weather radio is working, has batteries in it. That way you can take the appropriate precautions necessary. And I'll be back as necessary to update. Really, there's nothing going on in the state right now. Just wanted to hop on, see if anybody had any questions, and detail the threat for today. Before I hop off of here, they did extend the severe thunderstorm warning in Oklahoma to include Carnegie, Fort Cobb, Gracemont, Anadarko, and Verdon and Bingo as well. It's for 60 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. Again, I do expect this storm to continue to weaken, but just heads up for the folks in these areas. Stay well. No questions in the chat. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, reply to a post, send me a message, and I'll get to them. Anyway, thank you for listening. Be safe.